completely did not like it. It sucked. It didn't work for his riding style, so they gave him something fresh, started from scratch. He got his own setup, and clearly it is working way better than the Lawrence brothers setup. Do you think that any of the top 4, if any one of those guys would have crashed the way Deegan did, do y'all see any one of those guys making their way back up to 5th? If you say yes, explain yourself. If you say no, then you're like me. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Trackside. It's your boy Cinema J here, and Anaheim 1 is over. The 250 boys ate. They ate her up, man. Let's go. Wasn't the finish the outcome that I don't think a lot of us were expecting? I think it was one that was possible. But man, let's get right into this. Before I move any farther, let me first give glory and honor and thanks to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. This channel would not exist without him, nor would I. Thank you, Lord, for giving me the tools and resources and ability to create these videos. Next, thank you guys. You guys have been helping the channel immensely. So I really appreciate it. Keep doing what you're doing. If you're new, if you feel compelled to, consider subscribing, comment, share, like the video. Really helps out. But let's get into A1, the 250 boys. All right, first, we're going to start with the winner. All respect goes to Joe Shimoda. He did it. Joe Shimoda did it. This is the Joe Shimoda that I think a lot of us were expecting last year. But did he do this because he got a good start? I guess we'll have to wait for the whole rest of the year to find out. Either way, of all the Honda boys, he looked the best, man. He looked the best. He's got something figured out. On that note, we actually know what Joe Shimoda did. It turns out that Honda gave Joe Shimoda the Lawrence brothers setup on the 250 last year. Turns out, long story short, he completely did not like it. It sucked. It didn't work for his riding style, so they gave him something fresh, started from scratch. He got his own setup, and clearly it is working way better than the Lawrence brothers setup. So what do you guys think about this? Sorry, not sorry. I got kids. Back to the show. And I'm gonna be honest. I ain't think, even with the start, I thought Juju was stronger. I thought he was. But when they asked in the broadcast, they asked James and Ricky, who do you think this favors more? Juju or Julien Beaumer? I don't know how to say it. Correct me in the comments. Or Joe Shimoda. And they said what I was thinking, Joe Shimoda. Joe Shimoda out front is a dangerous Joe Shimoda. So if Joe Shimoda would have been in second and Julien Beaumer in first, I think that would have favored Julien Beaumer. I think for these guys, with where they are, they're not like a Deegan who could go last to 5th. They got to get starts and get out front, man. So Shimoda, man, all I got is he finally did it. He looked great. Hey, he showed some dog, he showed some confidence, and at least in the start. For the rest, can't really say much, because I think with just about anyone in this class, once you get a start like that, it's gonna be hard to catch any of these dudes. Well, any in the top 4, I would say top 5, maybe. I can't see Ryder D getting a whole shot and nobody catching him. I can see Joe Shimoda getting a whole shot, nobody catching him. We saw that last night. And then Julien Beaumer, I can see him getting a whole shot, nobody possibly catching them, but we'll save Deegan for last, because if anybody's going to catch all these dudes, clearly it's at number 38. So that's it for Shimoda. Next, Julien Beaumer. Woo, this guy is on my radar now. All right, guys, welcome back. Julien Beaumer, he looks dangerous. All right, Julien Beaumer looks like the KTM 250 guy that KTM wants. KTM, man, this is a solid team. They're in there for championships, all right? They got one last year. It looks like they want 2 of them this year, all right? West and East, all right? Julien Beaumer has not been playing, okay? The kid already was great. He was magnificent at starts, and he did that. He accomplished that. So this is what's going to be the most dangerous thing about him all year for Deegan, is he's a great starter, man. He's a great starter. And not only that, he's fast this year. He's fast, he's confident, and man, he's looking like the future of KTM out there. This guy, he keeps going the way that he went about last night. Oh, he can win this thing, yo. he could really win this thing. So if Joe doesn't do what he does last night, which he rarely does, then hey, that would have been Juju's race to win, yo. 100%. Oh my goodness. He literally may be the toughest obstacle for Deegan. No, I believe he is. I would say he's a tougher obstacle than Joe Shimoda, simply because mentally he seems sharper and tougher. The kid seems like he wants it. He's in there. He's in it for the championship. He's in it for the title. He's a better starter than Joe Shimoda from what I've seen. I mean, his rookie year, he was a great starter. So I got Julien Beaumer over Shimoda in the long run, though I would say I personally expect better results from Joe Shimoda in the long run for the rest of the season. So what do you guys think about all of this? Yo, this is a lot to unpack here. All right, this just got me excited for next Saturday. All right, Saturday coming up. We got 6 days to go. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yep, we got 6 days to go. And let's get to third place. NC stand up. Let's go. Jordon Smith. All right, Jordon Smith, he did what he needed to do. Almost. Jordon Smith, as we all know, will get a start, got speed, and crash. Now, James Stewart mentioned something, which is his greatest problem is getting up after crashing and then crashing again. So who knows the potential of this guy if he doesn't crash, but hey, he failed on one of those. At least he didn't fail twice, all right? So he failed once, got a podium. This guy's dangerous too, okay? He got a podium because Smith, we know, is fast, but he's on a new bike, all right? A bike that just got on the podium for the first time. Triumph, they're great, you know, as a brand, but this is huge for them, okay? And I believe overall he looks solid. I'll be honest, I ain't see enough to say he's a title threat, but we gotta see more races. This is the first race. There's a lot of problems with the first race. Man, I'm excited to at least see where Triumph goes with Jordon Smith over these next few races. I would say once we're like halfway into it, that's when we'll really see where Triumph is with Jordon Smith. He's clearly the guy for them. Like, gotta be number one. Faulkner, he should be the guy. So there's a lot of I don't knows there with Faulkner. So he's clearly the guy. And I would say ultimately last night, I ain't really see the Jordon Smith speed that I've seen with Star, but he did look more mature. I will say that. He got out of there with a podium and didn't get out of there with 2 crashes and a dead last. So a DNF. I'll take it from him. But next, we are going to talk about Ryder D, which is, that kid is interesting. All right, Ryder D feels good with his finish from what he said and taking steps in the right direction. He did how I expected. He's like on the level, he just reminds me of Beaumer out there, you know, young in the hunt, but he's missing something. All right, last night I believe gave him something. It gave him some confidence, okay? My guy was stoked on that 4th, okay? So there's some growth there and development. So I'm not looking for too much from him. I'm just looking for him to do what he did last night. Keep getting top 4s, top 5s. That would be huge for him. Be consistent. And that's what he was, man. The guy rode his own race, finished solid, but he just doesn't have the speed that these other guys have. He's clearly not on the level as Beaumer. I think he's got room to grow, which is great. He's not out of the oven yet. I think that's what the Racer X guys were saying. He's not out of the oven yet, but this is great for him. He's happy, I'm happy. So I'm excited to see what he does. I'm excited to see what he does with a start, man. Let's go, Ryder D. So he did better than last year, and that's a step in the right direction. Like you said, with a stacked 250 class. So yeah, let's get into Deegan because, woo, this is gonna be a doozy.
Always had a way to make it work and find another route.
All right, Haiden Deegan, to me, looked to be the fastest, most dangerous guy out there. I don't care that he got a 5th. We know why he got a 5th. That start was absolutely lethal. That thing was crazy. And I was like, the worst thing that can happen to him is he doesn't get a good start. And he didn't. He got the worst, he was in the worst position you could be in. So I have it in my notes. This is the last question. But all seriousness, guys, Do you think that any of the top 4, if any one of those guys would have crashed the way Deegan did, do y'all see any one of those guys making their way back up to 5th? If you say yes, explain yourself. If you say no, then you're like me. This is what we gotta think about. It's not the fact that he crashed, he got 5th. Can't really say nothing bad about that. That start was crazy. But it's the fact that he went from last to 5th. All that happened, he had some hair in his eyes, he said, bent levers. And he worked from last to 5th. If you ask me, if Joe Shimoda would have crashed like that, had bent levers and hair in his face, would he come back up to 5th? The answer is no. All right. Same for Julien Beaumer. Same for Ryder D. And same for Jordon Smith. He probably would have crashed 10 times trying to work his way back up to 5th. I just don't see it. But this is why, to me, it shows Deegan, he is the most dangerous guy in the class. I wish I would have at least gotten to see him race Julien Beaumer in the heat race. Right now, I'm looking for Juju and Deegan battles. It's gonna be great. I cannot wait to see. What I wanna see is Juju get a whole shot and Deegan in second. All right, I wanna see that. That's gonna be pay-per-view right there, okay? Pay-per-view. Man, I feel like that's gonna be good. And that's saying that, it's giving a lot of respect to Julien Beaumer, because we thought Deegan was gonna come out here and wax these guys, which he did in the heat race. I mean, just made it look so easy, man. So, other question I have for you guys, if Deegan gets a whole shot, who do you see catching him? If you answer anybody, please explain yourself. The overwhelming answer for that should just be no. Deegan gets a whole shot? No way. I don't care if Julien Beaumer beat him in time qualifying. I don't care if KTM is threatening to take his phone and all that other crap and it's causing him to go faster, race under pressure. It doesn't matter. Deegan is good. The bike looks good. These guys are hungry. He's got a good team behind him, great family support, and the way he rides on the bike, man, I'm not seeing it from anybody else. Julien Beaumer looks strong. Here's why I would give Julien Beaumer the benefit of the doubt. If Julien Beaumer would have caught Joe Shimoda and passed him, that's when I would say, oh, this guy, he's got it. All right, it's looking like a crazy year for Deegan. All right, it's not gonna be as easy as we thought. But I saw a chink in Julien Beaumer's armor because he couldn't catch who was in first place. All right, I thought he was like that, top the qualifying, but because he could not catch the guy who he beat in qualifying in the main event, tells me he's not fully there yet. I haven't seen it. Doesn't mean he can't get there. He's not gonna get there, but I haven't seen it. I've seen it from Deegan. Okay. I've seen it. Okay. So this is good. This is great. Deegan's gonna come out here even hungrier. Unlike most guys who would fold in these situations, he's totally unfazed. He did what he needed to do. He did what Tomac did, except for Tomac got ran over. That was just boss. That was crazy. So I think Deegan, he's looking great. He's looking solid. I'm excited to see next week. This is super exciting. Oh my goodness, man. I'll be honest, I don't even care about the heat races next week. I want to see the main events. All right, what do you guys think about all of this? There's a lot to unpack. Like I said, there's so many things to talk about. Talking about Deegan's bike, the bike setup looked good. Deegan and Shimoda had the best looking bike setups out there in 250 class. Garrett Marchbanks, I had high hopes for him. Man, guys out there, only one representing PC. Thanks to Kitchen, being sick. Sorry, hope he gets well. But man, he looks solid. He's a heavy guy on that 250, but man, I think he's got a podium. He's got a few podiums in him, but it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for him. Man, you gotta beat every weekend. You gotta beat Shimoda, Deegan, Julien Beaumer to get on that podium. That's tough. I definitely wanted to shout him out because he was having a good ride. And Smith, he got to beat Smith. That's gonna be tough, I believe, for him. They're really close to me, except for I believe Smith has more speed, so that's why I think it would be tough. But man, what do you guys think about all these guys? Anything I missed, drop it down in the comments. This was a great night of racing. This possibly was one of the best, most exciting A1s ever. All right, there was so many things going on. It was just good racing. There were unfortunate things, but there were good things that came from it. Seeing Tomac battle through and come up to 5th was amazing. Seeing Deegan come up from last to 5th, that was cool while we're watching Joe Shimoda do what we've all known that he could do. and Julien Beaumer looking solid, looking great, backing up his confidence in his words. This is just great, man. So, yeah, man. What do you guys think? I'm ending the video here. Not sure what else we're gonna put out this week, guys. Not sure. You know, I'll be in prayer about it as it comes. I'll deliver. But thank you for watching. If you made it this far, consider subscribing if you haven't already. Like the video, support the channel any way that you feel that you're called to. But with all that being said, catch you guys in the next one. Later.